this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, here with another Friday Reads. This week I'm kind of in between two books, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I just finished and what I'm just starting. I've just finished Whiskey for Breakfast, a short story collection by Christopher P. Mooney. Now, Chris is actually a virtual friend of mine. He and I have some commonalities in our background, so we met on some online groups and kind of bonded over that and have known each other for about 5 years or so. This is Chris's first book, and it's a short story collection. I've read some of his short stories before that have been published in various online and print publications, so I knew this was going to be good. I really enjoyed this. Some of Chris's stories are really short, like just a page or two. Some are longer. He tends to hit on a lot of dark topics. There's some murder, some suicide. He's got a couple of longer crime stories that I really enjoyed. But all of his stories, he's an excellent writer. So all of his stories have this way of just completely immersing you in the characters and the setting and what's going on, even if they're only a page long. In fact, I tend to prefer the longer stories in this collection, and I think it's mainly because even in a page or two, Chris really made me care about these characters and want to know more about them. So, there's quite a variety of short stories in here. But they're all very engaging, immersive, and thought-provoking. So I just finished that last night, and I have just started Rabbit Run by John Updike. My husband gave this to me for Christmas. I had asked for an Updike novel because he's one of many sort of modern classics that I've never read. So I did just start this, so I don't know much about it yet. It's about a 26-year-old man named Harry Engstrom, who is known as Rabbit. I know there are a couple of sequels to this, and that's about as far as I've gotten. But I've really been looking forward to reading this and filling in a gap in my classics reading. On audio, I'm listening to a middle grade novel that I am absolutely loving. It's called The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Dan Gemeinhart. I looked up how to say that. I always enjoy Dan's books, and I've heard wonderful things about this one ever since it was released in 2019. So the story is about a young girl named Coyote. Her dad is named Rodeo and is a bit of a hippie, in case you couldn't tell. Then they live and travel on an old refurbished school bus. So they spend their lives just going wherever they want to go, cross country, all over the U.S. And Coyote's mostly okay with this lifestyle. It began when some sort of tragedy hit. I won't spoil anything for you. And they've been on the road for 5 years together now. Coyote does sometimes get lonely. So in the very first chapter, she adopts a little kitten named Ivan, named after one of her favorite books, The One and Only Ivan. So that, of course, made me like Coyote right away. And everything is fine until Coyote makes one of her weekly phone calls to her grandma back at home and finds out that something's going to happen in their hometown in the next week. And Coyote really feels like she needs to be there for it, even though they haven't been back in 5 years. So she sets out to somehow get her dad to drive 4 days straight cross country without him knowing where they're going. So this is pretty tricky. Along the way, they pick up some travelers, some stray travelers who need a ride. So there are a lot of great characters in this novel. Coyote herself is wonderful. And as always, Gemeinhart has a way of tackling difficult topics with warmth and a wonderful sense of humor. So I'm really loving this book so far. I can't wait to read more, to listen to more, sorry. I can't wait to listen to more and find out what happens with Coyote and her dad. And that's it for me this week. What are you reading this weekend?